friends. Happy Sabbath. I am not very mechanically inclined when it comes to camera things of the electronic world, so this is my second shot. I hope your Sabbath was wonderful. I hope you spent it with me. My Sabbath here was amazing. It was a beautiful day, 80 degrees with a breeze. I have a farm across the street, and it just, no city noise. It was just wonderful. I also worship with a ministry who's in Florida, but they live stream their service, and today was a fasting day, fasting and prayer, and they did a live stream all day until like 5:30 or so, and that was just wonderful. It was after the regular sermon. They did prayer and music, and no crazy like drums and dancing around like hooligans. Hymns, old school, and prayer groups, and you can participate online. They took requests online, and then they would pray over them. It was really wonderful. My stomach growled a couple times, I won't lie, but it was so worth it. I was commenting in my mind, I wished he would do it every Sabbath, but somebody in his congregation said the same thing, and they had a good point, which if you do it every Sabbath, then it can lose some meaning, you know, if it becomes the same thing every time. Anyway, it was really wonderful. Fasting has been a really interesting experience. Ever since the 4-day fast I did, and I guess it was March, and the Lord's keeping my blood pressure down. It's amazing. I'm telling other people about it because we're supposed to praise His name, right? And tell others about the wonderful things that He does for us. And He does wonderful things every day. And I'm trying, at least in my life, to try to remember to give Him thanks out loud. Hopefully in someone else's hearing, and not just my own, you know? So I wanted to go over this letter with you guys. I met someone several years ago who, she was brought up the same denomination as I, Seventh-day Adventist. And we both went away from the church. We didn't grow up together, but we both went away from the church, and, you know, far away, like church that way, us that way. And she started coming back before I, and she was telling me about it, but she didn't go back to Seventh-day Adventist church. She just went back to reading the Bible and visiting other churches and so forth. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't even looking in that direction yet. I didn't do that until my mother passed away in 2012. And then I started, the Bible says, right, bring up the child in the way he should go, and when he is older he will not depart from it. Something like that. And here I am. So anyway, once I started coming back to the church that I was brought up in, and when I say church, I really mean like belief system. Like some of our core beliefs, obviously, is Seventh-day Sabbath. 24 hours worshiping God and such. Also the state of the dead, which is the dead are dead. They're not floating around. They're not coming to visit you. They are dead. Including Mary and St. Peter and all those guys. Everybody that's dead is dead. They're just dead. They're sleeping. They're waiting for Jesus to come. Well, those are the two that I feel comfortable, knowledgeable enough to comment on. because if anybody asks me a question, I can answer those, but other things I might not be able to. I am still studying. We're told we'll be studying the Bible for eons, into eternity. That's so awesome, because I got a lot to learn. Anyway, so I asked her one day, you know, what do you believe about Sabbath? Because I told her that I recognize about the Sabbath truth, and that's it. I am not ever looking back. I'm never going that way again. Only towards Father, only towards Jesus, only towards heaven, nothing else. So she wasn't there. Like I say, she mostly goes to church on Sunday. She's come to visit my church on Sabbath, but that's not where she is. So I asked her, like, what do you think? What do you remember when you were growing up about what you were told concerning Sabbath? And it sounds to me like, you know, she had the fear of God in her for sure, but it wasn't the right fear. It wasn't the holy fear, the respect and the love type of fear that's talked about in the Bible. But nevertheless, I haven't sent her a letter in a while, but I had been haranguing her for a couple years on and off. And so she responded to me, and I wanted to share that with you because it was really enlightening to me, and it's really sad. So maybe I hope this helps somebody. Let's see, where should I start? So she says, I meet with God regularly. I'm in His Word nearly daily, though not as long as I'd like to be. He's broken me of many things, but He hasn't come after me about Saturday church. So this is the first point. God didn't say, remember to go to church on Saturday. He, in fact, gave us the seventh day at creation, way back in Genesis. So that was one of the 7 days of creation was all about one day. He created all this wondrous planet, the heaven, the earth, the sea, all animals, Adam and Eve. And the seventh day, He rested. And He made that day holy. When Moses brought the law down from Mount Sinai, the 10 Commandments, the fourth one being, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, that one. Remember. That wasn't a new one. That was like, remember, you guys are supposed to keep Sabbath. They didn't call it Saturday back then, obviously. The seventh day, Sabbath. You need to do that. So it's not about Saturday church, okay? It's not about a building where you go for 2 or 3 hours. That's not what it is about. It's a 24-hour period that you don't have to worry about anything else, and you just spend it with Him. It's just so wonderful. I don't understand why people run from it like the plague. I just don't get it. So He hasn't come after me about Saturday church. In fact, He came after me about my working 7 days a week. Now, she and I are both workaholics, and I've been really trying the last couple of years to get away from that. But when you're alone, all responsibility lie on your shoulders. You have no one to share the burden, so you work a lot, and this is a trap perpetrated by the enemy. And if you're not in that trap yet, please don't ever get into that trap, because it's hard to get out. So we both work 7 days a week at the time. So she says, in fact, He came after me about my working 7 days a week. I made a pact with Him several years back that I wouldn't work on Sunday. Now, this is the second problem. The first problem was the Saturday church, right? He gives us a day to spend with Him, not church. It's not about church, okay? And she here chooses Sunday. She chose that day, but that's not the day that He chose. He chose the seventh day. He told us that in Genesis. and reminded us about it in Exodus. But she chose Sunday, which is not the day from God. So if there's two powers and Sunday is not from God, then who is that? Why would it doesn't say in here keep Sunday holy or don't work on Sunday. It doesn't talk about Sunday at all, as a matter of fact. So she says she made a pact that she wouldn't work on Sunday. She says it was August, but I don't recall which year. 2009 or later. Do you know, for 6 straight weeks after I made that pact, the only shifts available to me were Sunday. So, do you know why that is? Why that is because God was trying to tell her, I'm giving you all these shifts that you want on Sunday because he wants Sabbath, not Sunday. You can work all you want on Sunday. Sabbath is for him. He says Sabbath is for me, for him. But she chose Sunday. So it's like, God's blowing his trumpet. Hey, I want Sabbath for me, not Sunday. Sabbath. Here, you can have shifts on Sunday. I want Sabbath. You'd have to be Hellen Keller not to see it, right? So she says, the only shifts available to me were Sunday. And sister, I needed the work. I was biting my nails in worry, but I promised God. He tested me on my word. I messed up twice by accident and handed my earnings over to him. I'm not saying Sunday is the day over Saturday. Yeah, you kind of are, because you're the one that appointed the day to not work as Sunday. And he appointed Sabbath. So you are trying to usurp God's word if you say, I'll do what you want on Sunday. He's not asking for Sunday. He's asking for your time on Sabbath, because Sabbath, the seventh day, is the holy day, not Sunday. It's Sabbath, not Sunday. So I wrote her back after I read this, and I was like, do you not see? Just reread what you wrote. Maybe if you read it out loud, you'll have an epiphany and understand that you're the one that chose Sunday, and God, was trying to reinforce that you chose the wrong day, you see. You chose Sunday, he chooses the seventh day, Sabbath. But she didn't respond to that. So I pray for her twice a day with my family and a few others. But I have a feeling that she's caught in the quagmire of the enemy's tails. Not tail like tail, but lies. Because otherwise she would have just simply said, oh, now I see, because it just seems so obvious to me. So she's beating herself up because she didn't keep Sunday. I mean, you get my point, right? Things are happening so fast in this world. There's no time to make plans for what are we going to do for retirement and all that jazz. There's not going to be that. It's funny to me because, in a way, because some of the prepper people that put out videos or whatever, which I watch some of those, but they talk a lot about, and I said this in another video, they talk a lot about, getting your things in order so that when this chaos hits and you can come out the other side and rebuild your life and so on. And there's not going to be that. This isn't going to be that. This is going to be chaos, 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 chaos everywhere Jesus comes. there's not going to be another side that you have to worry about. You have to worry about being in Jesus. And if you don't perish during some of this chaos and you are alive when Jesus comes, you don't need anything on the other side. Really, all you need is Him. He provides. I'm such a control person in my own life. I have to control what happens, you see. It's really hard for me to let go. I haven't yet figured out the balance between what would be reckless for me to do and what He wants me to let go of so that I can let Him. And I'm working on that too. But things are happening quickly. This is also another interesting thing that the pioneers of the Seventh-day Adventist movement talked a lot about the end times, as do the prophets in the Bible. All the prophecy that they were given really talks about the end of the world. And they talked a lot about how at the end things will escalate quickly. The final movements will be rapid ones. And worldly people that don't know about God or don't care about God, they're all talking about how fast things are moving and how the pieces are just falling into place really quickly. Same thing that she said. And she talked about learning and being able to grow your own food, not living in the city, having a way to live without the food trucks that come, 24/7 to the grocery stores and such. And all of the worldly people are talking about that too. But if you talk to them about her, they laugh. Oh yeah, she's crazy. If you want this book, let me know in the box below. It's all in here and all in here. Well, she was, they have all kinds of accusations. Nevertheless, the things she wrote in this book over 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, well over 100 years ago, actually. I think the first edition was like 1880 or something like that. Everything she was saying in here, okay, this is what's going to happen. It's all happening right now. Francis, Bergoglio, whatever his name is, over in Rome, all of it. It's all happening right now. But nobody will admit it. So, nevertheless, even if what you have is the Bible, that's what you really need. And a relationship. One of the songs that was coming on this evening was Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus, right? Look full in His wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace. He's coming back. He's coming back soon, people. Get ready to meet your Maker. Get your life right. Throw all that worldly stuff out. It's so dim. I don't want anything in this planet. Not until it's remade. Don't work for an earthly kingdom. Work for a heavenly kingdom. That's where your treasure is. Think about it, okay? Think about it, and if you guys want to fast with me, let me know that too. I'm not going to say I love it, being hungry, but it really helps you to appreciate food once you break the fast Sabbath night. So, watermelon, grapes, and a couple Triscuits, but I think that's okay. And some strawberries. God is so good. My small strawberry patch in the front yard, I've probably got 10 pounds of strawberries. And they're sweet. They are sweet. They're not what you buy in the store. These are God's strawberries. He looks out for his. I want you all to be in heaven. I want to meet you there. Okay? So think about next Sabbath, will you? Think about it. Work on your relationship with God and with Jesus Christ. He is the way. All right? I'll talk to you later.